It turns out there were two skins that were cut from CTR Nitro-Fueled, one that actually has me scratching my head. Then something weird happened to the post after it was posted. Let's talk about it. Whoa! What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a brand new Crash Team Racing video. Crash Team Racing introduced something amazing and it's still being talked about today: skins. Some skins are still being used today in fan art pieces and in mods and are beloved by many. Another thing that CTR did that was really cool was bringing back old characters in the franchise that most of us either forgot about or haven't seen before. A few examples being Yaya Panda, Hasty, who was based on the legend of Fasty, and of course Megamix. But there were two skins recently discovered that actually were modeled and seemingly ready to go, but all of a sudden were cut. And if you're a fan of the Crash Bandicoot series as a whole, one of them is really going to make you scratch your head. On ArtStation, a user by the name of Emmanuel posted that he had the honor of working on Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled as a third party, working at Elite 3D. These are the skins that he worked on. We have Beach Coco, Star Cortex, and Werewolf Tiny. Here's the weird part though. When he posted these, there were two other skins that we had never seen before. The first one is seemingly Sumo Papu Papu. We can see that he ditched his leaf loincloth for sumo gear, along with a Japanese-inspired hairstyle, along with a dragon and koi tattoo on his body. Along with Papu Papu was a Japanese ornamental lantern, used as a replacement for his staff. Then, now this is the big one, Coco had a cut skin. Remember how I said if you were a fan of the Crash Bandicoot series as a whole, one of them is really going to make you scratch your head? This is the skin that I'm talking about. Take a look. What does the skin remind you of? What could it possibly be referencing? If you said Crash the Titans, you would be right. Crash the Titans Coco at one point was going to be a skin for CTR Nitro-Fueled, but for some reason, it was cut. But why? Why would either of these skins be removed? They both seemed fine, ready to go, and ready to use. In fact, Sumo Papu Papu had popped up before in a previous data mine, but weirdly never came out. Also, his victory animation was included in the files and data miners were able to pull it out to see what it looked like. The skin was practically done. Also, mind-controlled Coco from Crash Mind Over Mutant is already a skin that's in the game. So it's not like Beanox hated the Tattoo Crash era. So what gives? Well, before we throw some theories around for Coco, let's rewind back to Papu Papu. The skin for Papu Papu looks really good, but I think I have an idea as to why it was cut. Back when the Grand Prix began, one of the early characters that they introduced to the game was Tana. Now, as you know, there are stock skins that you can unlock just by winning races. One of those skins for Tana was initially called Watermelon Tana. This caused some to raise an eyebrow, as her skin was darker toned in comparison to the original base skin, and along with the name and theme, it caused some to question if there were some racial undertones. Beanox saw the reaction and immediately lightened her skin to better match the original and changed the name from Watermelon Tana to Summertime Tana. Along with this, they also changed the name of a bunch of other skins. White Tana became White Tiger Tana, Black Zem turned into Solar Flare Zem, Red Papu Papu was changed to Crimson Papu Papu, along with a few others. This was all done in a way to make sure that there was no intention of there being racial undertones in the game. So, with all that said, Papu Papu is, assuming that everything in Crash Bandicoot is based in around Australia, likely a Polynesian tribal warrior from New Zealand. However, the Sumo Papu Papu skin is heavily referred to the Japanese culture. With the sumo wear, tattoos, and the hairpiece, Beanox likely got nervous and gun-shy about releasing the skin as it might be seen as culturally insensitive. So, they probably just took the safe route and cut the skin due to the previous oversight of Watermelon Tana, just to be safe. But what about Coco? Why was the skin cut? I wish I had more of a concrete answer like I did for Papu Papu, but I do have a few bouncing theories. First things first, take a look at her hair. Notice anything similar about it? If you said it looks a lot like the Beach Coco skin, you are absolutely right. The skin uses the exact same hairstyle as Beach Coco. In fact, if you think about it, Beach Coco and Crash the Titans Coco were made by the exact same artist. But the way it was presented on their website, it initially seemed as if that the Crash the Titans Coco skin came first and then Beach Coco was seemingly recycled from it. However, we don't know if that's 100% true. It's also possible they just shared the same hair asset. But if this skin was a recycle of Titans Coco, it makes me think that maybe they dropped the skin because, well, maybe they didn't plan on releasing Titans Crash or Titans Crunch, which would make it weird to just have Titans Coco but not the other two. Or maybe they did plan to make a Titans Crash and Titans Crunch, but ran out of time or resources. So they scrapped Titans Coco and made her into Beach Coco. There are a lot of possibilities. But here is the weird part that I mentioned right at the beginning. After those two images were posted, a day or so later when the public found it, the poster actually removed them from the ArtStation post. This has happened before when contractors or certain artists post certain pieces of art that for some reason breaks the NDA. But why would these two skins for a game that came out in 2019 be pulled down? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. Would you have liked to see these skins in the game? Comment below and let me know.